and welcome to another edition of Ocean's Pit. Let us show about big things Monday through Friday at noon. Lunchtime fun. This is the third show for 2026. If you're just turning in for the first time this year, Happy New Year to you and your wonderful family. And we're having a great show this week. The whole week has been good. New Year's has been good. Everything's good. We have a lot of fun going on today. So, first of all, I want to check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, 477-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, the men and women in the military. Let's not forget our veterans who fought for our country. And making it great again. Boy, I am in a good mood today because I got one of my good buddies on, Mr. Rick Lindy. Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones. Of course, Rick will be on the show at about 12:30, right after the weather, and he's promoting 40th anniversary bash. 40 years in the entertainment business. Rick and the boys, they'll be doing their big show coming up, the Moonlight Theater, January 31st. That's in lovely St. Charles, Illinois. The show is from 7:30 to 10 o'clock. There's a $35 cover charge. Get in and see this beautiful show. 40 years in the coming on later on in the afternoon. And a lot of it is so our good friends from Seventh Heaven. Woo! Running slow, but they'll take us in. So, hello, yo, let's go. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you, Seventh Heaven, for that great intro. Happy New Year, everybody. Great day. Today is Wednesday, 8th of January, and we got a show lined up. Got a busy week coming up. Thursday night, we're returning to Zaza's in Lake Barrington with the Professor Daryl Armenstadt. Friday, we'll be at the Bocce International Bocce Club in Highwood, Illinois for their 1 year their anniversary, their yearly party they do every year. So I want to thank Bruce for that. And we have a lot of fun on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, 2 nights at Ron Onesti's Club, Arcata Speakeasy. Now, Saturday, January 10th, we'll be there with the Main Event Band. We'll be there with Double T, Tony Toto, Ramundi, just them two guys on Saturday. That's an 8:30 show, oshows.com for that, retro music and good fun. And then we're back there on Sunday, the following day, January 11th, at a 4:30 show, me and Double T. So it's going to be a lot of fun for great stuff happening this week. And let's get to our sponsor, our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. All right. Guys, the countdown is in. 9 days, 9 more days to the Chicago Music Cruise. It'll be the third one that we are involved with Seventh Heaven. It's going to happen, folks. If you're still interested, last minute, hey, talk to your wife, boyfriend, girl, partner, whatever you guys are doing these days. Say, hey, let's jump on this cruise. Why freeze in January when you come to the Caribbean, baby? That's right. If you're hearing it for the very first time, which if you're watching this show, I doubt you are, but it's NTD Vacations. And again, now they've been doing it for 25 years, Richie and Seventh Heaven guys have been doing it for a lot of years. But this is our third cruise with Seventh Heaven. Now, the first 2 we did is at the Royal Caribbean, but this is going to be in a brand new ship. So we're excited because it's the MS World America, a brand new. It's going to kick off January 17th through January 24th. It's 7-night Western Caribbean cruise, Miami, Honduras, Costa Maya, and Ocean Cay Island, owned by MSC World America. If you're coming on the cruise, I think the days that we're working, us and Seventh Heaven, will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we get on Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're sailing and doing what we're doing, but the concerts will start Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with with Tony Ocean and Seventh Heaven, and then Friday is a private island at Ocean Cay, so there'll be no gig there. And then Saturday we come back on the port. So that's just information. Find out more. Go to ChicagoMusicCruise.com. Put in Tony Ocean, or better yet, pick up the phone for any last-minute questions. Call Mary at 630-688-1725. And we're going to be excited going on that cruise. All right. Yesterday, me and Laura went live. You guys haven't seen Laura in a while, at least not on the pit. This was after the pit. And I know in 2026, Laura is hinting that she wants to come back for a little bit. So that would be cool to get Laura back in the fold again. And, of course, we were talking about the remodeling of our kitchen. Oh, my God. I mean, it's even more. They took even more stuff down yesterday. So, I mean, it's weird now because you have to get used to the mess and everything being in one place. It's not there no more, but everything going to be brand new. New appliances, new paint job, new everything. So Eddie and the boys are doing a great job with that. So we went live on that. And then, of course, Laura went live with Bravenly, the company, another company that she does part-time, of those Bravenly health products, and we gave away some contest winners that won some prizes, which was kind of fun. So I always love doing the videos with my wife, Laura, because it's always a lot of fun, and you guys seem to love it too, and I really do appreciate that. Okay. So this morning I had opportunity to have a good time. I like to get together with my friends as much as I can when we're not working. And sometimes we like to meet for breakfast. And I got to meet with St. Nick, of course, Nick Sahajas, the world famous Billy Joel tribute band, the Chicago Piano Man, and my fellow cohort Bill Saratella from Ocean's Rat Pack. We met for breakfast this morning at Dino's in Bloomingdale. We love the place. I like the place. I go there a lot, actually. It might have been the first time Nick and Bill were there, but we try to do that once a month or once every other month. And we like to keep doing that. So thanks. Great seeing Nick and Bill. And this afternoon, I got a nice big thing going on. Dave Hoekstra should be a very popular name in the Chicagoland area. He was a big writer for the Chicago Sun-Times. He's done so many books and so many stories and so many stuff. He's an incredible writer. He did a big story on me years ago, and he's writing a second book on supper clubs. So we're meeting about 2:30 at Beatniks in Oak Brook, which I've never been to before, but it's a quiet little place. And we're going to discuss some supper clubs, the past of the supper clubs and stuff. And then we're going to do something on, he's going to do a little story on my years in the entertainment business. So I'm very excited to see Dave Hoekstra, a good friend and a great writer, the great Dave Hoekstra. That will be, we're going to do that later on today at about 2:30. All right. Again, Rick Lindy coming in at about 12:30, right after the weather, and we'll talk to him. Let's get to some stories if we can. Billy Joel, of course, he was out of commission for a while. He has health problems with his brain, something like that. He hasn't played in about a year or so, but he made an appearance, which is pretty cool. He made an appearance in Florida at a small theater. It was a Billy Joel tribute band. And how cool is it? Now, I don't know how many tribute bands out there. There's a lot. But when the actual band members show up at one of your gigs, I had the opportunity back in 1988. We were playing Loves Park, Rockford, Illinois, with Moe's Dream Police. And in through the door, we heard rumors that Rick Nielsen and Bunny Carlos will be there. We never thought they'd actually come up and play. So my idols, of course, Cheap Trick, one of the greatest rock bands of all time. And they showed up, came up on stage, and an honor to play with Rick Nielsen and Bunny Carlos. I did post pictures of that. Pretty cool. That's like if you were a Beatle impersonator and Ringo showed up at one of your gigs. This is what happened in Florida. Billy Joel came out. It was pretty cool. And that's got to be a big highlight tribute act when the actual shows up. So it was nice to see Billy Joel again. And I think they did 2 songs. We Didn't Start the Fire. I don't know the other song they did. Check it out on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool to have that happen. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. I'm trying to see who's watching here. Everything's a little slow today. Let's say hello to Felix Greco, Crooner in the house. Jeanette, Ronnie B. This big Elvis birthday show at the Speakeasy. Isn't that today or this weekend, whenever it is? So make sure you go check that out. Jill from Indiana, how you doing? Say happy birthday to your husband, Bob. That's right. Bob Wellman's birthday today, Jill. Happy birthday to your hubby. There is Buddy. Yeah, I'll see you. But thank you, Buddy. Well, tomorrow we'll be a Jeanette, Kathy. How you guys doing? All right. So that's a pretty good story. Ronald Reagan, former president, former actor. Of course, his son, Michael Reagan, dies. His son died. I don't get an age here, but he passed away this weekend. Or I can't see because I can't read my handwriting. Also, this past a week ago or so, the great blonde bombshell, the great Brigitte Bardot, was like, Marilyn Monroe dies at the age of 91. She died around Christmas, if I'm correct, or New Year's. It's a little late info. There's my good buddy Joey Spins. Miss you, buddy. Holy roly. Rose is in the house. Kathy, Mary, how are you doing, Lilia? Welcome to Ocean's Pit. Also, my good friend Patrick Moore. Last week we gave you a health thing on his mom. Celebrated a 91-year-old, celebrated her birthday, and I did a video, and she did a video that Angus, Mary Cardella, has passed away. Prayers go out to the Moore family. An incredible lady with spitfire that she was, and her and Patrick were really close. And our prayers again to Patrick and his family. Interesting. Also, the last surviving member of our gang. Remember our gang, not the group. Our gang, the old TV show. Spanky, Alfalfa, Froggy. Anyway, the last one died. Sidney Kubrick dies at the age of 97 years old. He was Butch. Remember Butch the bully? His sidekick, Woim, instead of Worm, Woim, W-O-I-M, passed away at the age of 97 years old. The last of the Our Gang Little Rascal characters, which was a great TV show when we were growing up. Ronnie B, tomorrow. Okay, so Ronnie B will be at the Speakeasy tomorrow night celebrating Elvis Presley's birthday. Michael Reagan was 80. Thank you, Mary. That's right. Michael Reagan, the son of Ron and Nancy Reagan, passed away. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Mary, for that. Thank you, Albert. Nice seeing you. Okay, good. Hope Bob's having a good one. Tell Bob to have a drink on me, buddy. Happy birthday, Bob. All right, so I'm trying to look at some other things here before we get other people that might have passed away or anything like that. Oh, Chicago Bears. They're playing Saturday night. They're playing the wild card against the Green Bay Packers, 7 o'clock at night. It's going to be really big for all the bars. The bars are going to make a lot of money that night. Not too good for the entertainers because not many people want to see the entertainers when this big of a game is on a Saturday night. At first, the Bears were giving points. Now the Packers are giving points. Vegas says the Packers are going to win this. I don't know. Jordan Love will be starting for the quarter for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if his health is that great. But here's an interesting fact for all you people who love the Bears. And I didn't realize this either. It's an interesting note, whether you like the Bears or not. The Bears, George Halas bought the Bears in 1920 for $100 in 1920. That's equivalent to this day with about $1,500 to this day. But the Bears right now are worth $6 billion with a B. Now, is it if they move to Indiana or Arlington Heights, wherever they're going to go? I believe they're going to go to Indiana because Prickster doesn't want to pay taxes, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Anyway, if they go to a stadium with a dome, they'll be worth $8 billion. That would be very interesting to see. So that's interesting, a little note there about your Chicago Bears. New Year's Eve. Now, Times Square on New Year's Eve. Now, I've never had the opportunity to be at Times Square during New Year's Eve. But to get a good seat or stand, because you're standing in the middle of Times Square, right where they drop the ball, you have to go there like hours. There's Rick Lindy. You'll see him at about 12:30. Rick Lindy will be joining the show. Nancy Reagan's stepson, the younger son, Ron, was both of them. Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you for helping me there. There you go. Mark, welcome. How you doing? All right. So people they wait hours and hours and hours. They get there early to stand in that area to watch the ball. They said that most of the people, it's a 19-hour wait, I guess, if you start the day, whatever, and you wait till the countdown. A lot of adults were wearing diapers, so they didn't have to leave their spot in New York City. Thousands of people waiting for the ball to drop, knowing that everybody's got diapers on. I can see the guy going, doing a number 2 when the ball drops. They don't want to miss it. This came from the New York Post. I don't care how much you pay me. I wouldn't wear diapers to stand anywhere. Who would go out? And anybody that's that old doesn't want to do that anyway. Unbelievable. Adult diapers. Dropping the ball on New Year's Eve. Isn't that insane? Insane. And as Rick Lindy just said, it all depends. Oh, my God. But I was waiting for, I don't know if Boyd's on today, but Boyd would have made a comment like that. Is that insane or what? Crazy. We just mentioned another thing here. Influencer Yulia Butera, if I'm pronouncing her name right, 38 years old. She's a influencer, which is a social media influencer, where they have a lot of followers, I suppose. I guess this is a new hot thing right now. She was 38 years old. She died of a cosmetic surgery. While they were doing cosmetic surgery or after the surgery, you got to be really careful with that stuff these days. I've known people have done it, faces, neck, nose, maybe ears or forehead or whatever. But you got to be really careful. You got to make sure your health is okay before you do some of this stuff, or it matters what you're getting done or how much you're getting done. This woman was 38 years old. 38 years old. You got to be careful, folks out there. Speaking of New Year's Eve, Cher with her song Believe. Do you believe love? Actually, I do the song. It's a great song. A great song by Cher. For New Year's Eve, they had 1 million streams on Spotify. 1 million just on New Year's Eve. Cher with the song Believe. Wow. You know what that means? Ching ching. She got a lot of ching ching on that. That's for sure. McDonald's in a lawsuit. The McRib. I remember when the McRib came out. If I remember me, it had to be in the 70s, right? I was a kid. McRib. I tasted it once years ago when it first came out. It's called the McShit. They're getting sued because they're saying, ladies and gentlemen, in the McRib does not contain any meat whatsoever. So, for you wonderful people that are eating McRibs, you're probably eating cat, dog, rat, whatever you're eating, but there's no meat in there. Well, wait, there is meat in that, but there's no meat in a McRib. It's a McShit. Now they're going to go to court. Someone's got a lawsuit on this. McDonald's got the money. The moral of the story is stop eating McRibs at McDonald's. Wait till you get older, Tony. Yes, I'm going to get older, Jeanette, but I promise you I won't be sitting out in Times Square after wearing a diaper. If I have to wear a diaper, I already told my wife, give me the pill. Give me the pill. Ooh, that's it. I'm done. Kim Peterson LeFew, great singer in the Chicagoland area. Check her out at In Session and more stuff that she does. I don't want to wear diapers sooner than I need to. Right, exactly. So I told my wife, if I have to get that way, give me the pill, end it right there. That's it. Done. Anyway, but it definitely won't be in Times Square waiting for the ball to drop. I can find other things to do. You guys remember going to church as kids? I remember going to church. Now, some of you still might be going to church. I remember when I was a kid, we used to go every Sunday. I didn't want to go as a kid. But you had to go because my parents made me go. But you always remember you had to dress up. You always had to dress up. Your parents always made you dress up to go to church. Put a shirt on with a collar, put a jacket on. I had to wear a tie. This is when I was a kid. But some people, do they still dress up when they go to church? If you guys go to church, or when you go to church, do you guys still dress up? And that's one of the questions for today. I remember I did. I had to. I do remember doing that, folks. Dressing up when you went to church. Mike in the house, Hardcore Italians, an incredible organization supporting Italians. And if you want any Italian merchandise, hats, shirts, pins, bumper stickers, all that stuff, go to Hardcore Italians, sign up, become a member, buy some merch, and support our good friends from Hardcore Italians. There you go. Rick said I wore a suit and tie to church. There you go. Rick Lindy will be joining us at 12:30. That's in about another 10 minutes, so 9 minutes right after the weather. Let's get to some other things here. How many people, and I didn't realize this, your business, your work, at the end of the year, they give you a party. Now, some give you a party. Some give you just a bonus. Carol Brandolino's in the house. Happy hump day. So some jobs would give you a party. An end of the year party, holiday party, Christmas party, or some of these companies just give you a bonus and no party. But they said thousands of employees were fired through the years of your conduct during the holiday party. The food is there, the booze is free, people are dancing, it's the end of the year, your stress is out, you're saying comments, you're doing shit. Whatever you're doing, they say through the history of work parties, at the end of the year, thousands of people have been fired. They've been fired because of their actions. Come on, you get a little too, you go up to the boss, tell them to fuck off, or whatever it is. But I didn't realize thousands of people. Now, I remember a couple of my work parties when I had a regular job, and that was many years ago. I don't remember getting crazy, but I do remember everybody getting lit. And we stayed at a hotel, so you can go right up to the room. So thousands of people lost their jobs for that. Howard Stern, when this guy came out, he was huge. He was on the radio, TV show, and then, of course, they gave him his own show on Sirius, whatever it was, right? Sirius Radio, if I'm pronouncing that right. And he was very big for many, many, many years. And of course, when the COVID came, and of course, if you didn't take the shot, don't listen to my show, or you should be locked up in prison, or if you voted for Trump now, don't listen to my show. Well, Howard Stern's show has been canceled. You know, you're an idiot, Howard Stern. Look, I never took a shot, but if it is what it is. I am a Trump supporter, and I have no problem saying that. But I know many of my friends who are not Trump supporters, and we're still very good friends. And we can bust each other's balls and have some fun without unfriending or blocking or pretending that you never know this person anymore. The hatred that some of these people have over the president of the United States is mind-boggling to me. And I know this, we talked about it a couple of times on the show through the past, it comes up. But these guys are there's men and women. It's a small group. It's not it's not all Democrats. I know a lot of Democrats who it is what it is, But there's some that just are a little, just nuts over the top. And that's just all their life, that Trump syndrome, whatever they call it. That's all 24 hours a day to destroy and to make fun of. And it's what's crazy is, to me, it's another 3 years, right? Trump is gone. They wasted all of their life doing this. It's mind-boggling. There's more things in life to do. Obviously, you don't like the guy. Okay, no problem. It's like, I don't like mushrooms. I'm not going to eat them. I'm not going to make a big thing, kill mushrooms, ban mushrooms. You know what I mean? I just don't. That's it. Howard Stern, you're a jerk. All right, next up. And here is a fellow Democrat, not me, but the fellow Democrat. If your political opinions part of your personality flaw becomes a problem. Good point there, Boyd. If you're, good point. If you are on both sides, if you're a big pusher, of this and that, I can understand it gets to the point where it pisses people off. I know I pissed people off when I did it, but I wasn't as bad. There's some people on both sides, but you're absolutely right, Boyd. I can see that, but it is what it is. It's over. Hammer is in the house. Jimmy, what's up, brother? Here is Democrat Senator John Fetterman. And now his own Democrats are turning on this guy. This guy hates Trump too, but he's trying to say, hey, wait a minute. He's doing some good stuff. And here's a comment that he made that made sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you. John Fetterman asked his fellow Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't want Maduro removed, then why did you have a reward on his arrest? You only put arrests on people that are wanted. Murder, drugs, wanted, big reward. It's been out there for a long time. Now that they capture them, if you didn't want them caught, why would you even put a thing out on them? Why would you put a warrant on them? Didn't former President Joe Biden do that? Come on. You caught him. You know how many times by people this guy's killed? Anyway, enough of that. Hey, how about my good buddy Danny Maggi from Armando Supermarkets? Buy local, shop local, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Armando's. Get some great produce. All right, Rick Lindy coming up in a couple minutes. Let me give you some dates. Tony Ocean and Rat Pack shows coming up. January 15th. This is the day before we take off for the cruise. We'll be at Positano's in Wheaton. It's just a two-man show with my good pal, Louis Pipes. It's going to happen at 7 o'clock, Positano's in Wheaton, January 15th. Then January 29th, we'll be going to Positano's in Oak Brook with Double T, Tony Toto, and the return of Lisa P., who's hitting the sun in Florida right now. That's the 29th. On the 31st of January, we'll be at Big Sammy's in Plainfield. Going to the south side on the 31st. Great food, great place. Love Sammy, great guy. We'll be there at Plainfield on the 31st of January. We got a couple new spots. February 7th, we'll be at Gusto's. Gusto's Italian Restaurant, making our debut there in Glenview on Saturday, February 7th. Felix says, okay, Felix Greco will be joining us too there. Jackie Gale, hope to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're feeling better, I hope, my friend. Felix, okay, great. All right, and March 7th, we're going to be at Johnny Cabs with the Main Event Band and Lisa P. That's going to be on March 7th. Write these dates down. I'm excited about that. And March 21st, another new club. February 21st, 218 Distillery in Highwood. This is a place that makes its own liquor, own whiskey. Pretty cool. Big stage. Great place. We'll be there. I'm excited about that. And Ocean's Rat Pack. Valentine's Day. You have any plans? Now, last year we were at the Impact Fuel Room. Impact Fuel Room in Libertyville. Last year we sold it out, but this year we're going back, and this time we're going on Valentine's Day night on the 14th of February with Double T, Tony Toto, Danny Raimondi, and Dante. We have a full band behind us on Valentine's Day on the 14th of February. So cool. Libertyville Impact Fuel Room. Oh boy. I'm having a good time. Helen Tenuta, I hope you know. Ryan, what's up, brother? Yes. Okay. We got a couple minutes left, right? Before we do the weather, 2 minutes before we do the weather, and then we're bringing on Rick Lindy. Headlines: rotisserie chicken in plastic. You go to Costco, Jewel, Walmart. They have that chicken, rotisserie chicken that's already cooked, right? You get it in the bag. Well, they're saying rotisserie chicken in plastic can release up to 4.22 million microplastic particles, which lower men's and women's fertility, may book shows to dox them. This is not good. They're saying not a good thing, baby. So, and we do it all the time. My wife loves that stuff. Yolanda. So be careful with that rotisserie chicken that's in plastic. How about this poor guy? New York man spends 5 months on Rikers Island. Rikers Island, one of the biggest prisons ever, not knowing his bail was set for $2. A New York man spent 5 long months in New York's infamous Rikers Island prison before learning that he could set himself free by posting $2 bail. People magazine confirms. Glenn Hardy, one of the attorneys now representing the 41-year-old Abitel Salem, tells people his client was detained on November 21st, 2014 for illegally assaulting a New York police officer. At the time, his bail was set for $25,000, but I guess his bail was only set for $2. He didn't know. Obviously, his lawyer didn't tell him either. Wow. Horrible lawyer there. Horrible lawyer there. All right, folks, enough of that. It is time, Natalie. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, Ocean's Pit. It's time for the weather, folks, because we love giving you that weather, brought to you by our good friends from JRC Buy Local, Shop Local, our good friends from Ace. The weather today for Wednesday, January 8th. Sorry, folks. The computer's been today. So everything's moving a little slow. Let's see if this comes up. All right, here's the weather. Forget that. Here's the weather brought to you by JRC Ace Hardware Store. The weather, 36 degrees right now, 85% humidity, 7-mile-an-hour winds. It's a little cool out there for Wednesday, the 7th of February. So our good friends from Ace giving us the weather there. All right, so now that the weather is done, we're going to get rid of, or did I just bring it back out again? I'm sorry about that, folks. We're going to bring our good buddy Rick Lindy on, and before I do that, sorry, real fast. All right, so I'm in a good mood. I hope you guys are in a good mood. Let me see if my buddy Rick Lindy will be joining us. Coming in, let's see. Who? Rick Lindy, are you in the house?
I am here. Can you see me?
Rick, I see your guitar. You might want to move over.
Oh.
I see your guitar.
Like that?
There you are. Move over a little bit more. Yeah, keep moving a little. Keep moving. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
And I got these dumb glasses here because I can't see good.
All right.
Otherwise.
Let me give you the little intro. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us again. Rick's been on the show many times, but he's here today. What for? Because he's in a good mood. Number 2, he's promoting his big show coming January 31st at Light Theater in beautiful downtown St. Charles. Rick will be, Wild Ones will be celebrating 40 years in the entertainment business. It's going to happen Saturday, January 31st, 7:30 to 10 o'clock, $35 to get in. Welcome to my good friend, Rick Lindy. Ricky, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on, Mo. And hello, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And thank you so much for highlighting me on the show today for the 40th show, which I can't even believe I'm going to be doing 40 years. God, where did it go, right?
It's great to see you. Well, yeah, right, guy. It's great seeing you, buddy. And I hope you had a great new year. You know, we've had you on the show before. We always talk different stuff that's going on, but this is a big deal for entertainers, especially at our level, doing it 40 years. And a couple things I was going to ask you. Do you feel like it's been that long, Rick?
Some days I do. Some days I do.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I feel good today myself, like you said you do. I'm in a good mood, and I think that you know, it's definitely weird to think doing this for 40 years. I mean, I haven't been doing it with the Wild Ones for 40 years. I began doing it solo. The Wild Ones have been around for 27 years, though, which is a long time too. And just like you, I had some other projects prior to my band now. But God, I mean, it just seems like so long. I've been actually even performing longer than that. Technically, still doing theatrical performances all through high school too. So I've been really doing it longer than 40 years, but you know how that is. But yeah, it's so nice to be on the show. I totally appreciate being here,
Hey,
and
Rick, I
I
love
always enjoy that.
promoting. Well, thank you. I love promoting all our acts in Chicago. I think it's important to support other acts. Where so many different singers, so many different musicians, so many different shows. You can't say, look, it's not like I'm an Elvis guy and I'm promoting Rick Lindy, the Elvis guy. You know what I mean? There's so many out
Right,
there. Rick does Elvis, does Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins. He does a lot of great stuff. He does some great music. And but I think it's important. And I know back in the day, especially the Rat Pack. Let's take that for Rat Pack. They would always promote other acts. They would be, and everybody would get the spotlight. It would be Frank, or it would be Dean one night, or it would be Sammy one night, or Tony Bennett, or whatever. And they would go to each other's shows at that time, especially when they were all in Las Vegas. Right now, it's kind of hard because we're all working all on the same day, on the same weekends and stuff like that. So it's hard, but it's important and it's good what the music you do, Rick, and any band out there that plays and that people go see these artists, and you're bringing back for that hour or 3 hours, whatever it is, they're feeling good. You're making them feel good for those 3 hours that do come out. And it's important. And we have to thank you for doing that, Rick. One of the questions I have to ask you, 40 years, is there a favorite song that when you look at that set list, you go, man, I still love singing this song? Is there
no,
one? Yeah.
no. I mean, I love them all. Actually, I mean, I really do. The only reason that songs are put in the set list are because I love doing them. But you know, there isn't really a favorite anymore. There's a lot of people that love certain songs that mean something to them, and I always do the very best I can to do those songs for people, just like yourself. I mean, it's really an honor when you get a packed house or even just a few people. Some nights are slower than others, but whoever comes and shows up, it really does mean a lot to me. I do so many shows just like you, and sometimes on break, I have to actually kind of step away because I sing every song. I do like 60 songs a night in my band. I know it's a lot of music, but we
Yeah.
usually are covering a 3 to 3.5 hour thing. And if anybody comes to see my shows, they know I always do an hour and a half set, the first set. I take off about 30 minutes and then I finish out the night. I don't really take any more breaks.
Right.
I love to do specialty shows like we did at the Tivoli. That was a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Um,
fun. Yeah. It's
that was fun to
important, I
do the
think, what you do. Yeah. I love when you do stuff like that. And when we do stuff like that and stuff, but you have to play songs that sometimes you don't want to. I don't want to do Kick in the Head. I want to do That's Amore, but I got to do it every night. I can't do it anymore, but I have to do it every night. So is there a song that you hate then? I mean, there's got to be one that you look at that list going, damn, do I have to do Mustang Sally again? I mean, I don't even know if you do Mustang Sally, but is there a song that you and the band giggle when it comes to the set? It's like Brown Eyed Girl. I don't even know if you do that, but you know what I mean. One of those songs like that.
well, first of all, as far as Mustang Sally, the only one that ever sings that is Andy Trippy when he plays with us. Um, as far as
Okay.
a song that I don't like to do, I'm trying to think. I mean, sometimes when I'm doing 5 shows in a week, all the songs I don't want to do. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean by that,
Okay. We
because you're doing them over and over again. But I can't
yeah.
say any
Yeah. Right.
songs I
Right.
really don't like.
Exactly.
There's one song I don't like to do, quite honestly, is "Love Me Tender," and I'll tell you why. Is I just never really found that to be a song I really like doing. But so many people love, Elvis, and they want to hear "Love Me Tender," but I'd rather do every other song but that one. Maybe that one. I would say, and I don't even have it in the
Yeah.
set list
You
anymore.
know,
You know,
unless somebody
it's
gives you $100
Johnny
bill,
Be Good,
hey, I'll
maybe.
sing it.
Johnny Be Good is a song that's overdone. When I when I ask the guys in the band to do it, they look at me like, seriously, we got to do this. Um, but people love it, especially when we do like a bigger show or we do a show with older people there. They love it when we do Johnny Be Good. So,
Yeah.
quite honestly, there's a lot of people that come and see the band every week, and I know they keep telling me, "Oh, come on, change it up, do more songs." And I'll tell you why I haven't really been able to add a lot of songs is because I've had a lot of band member changes lately, so I have to get all the newer people up to speed with the set list, and then I can start adding some songs. I mean, um, a couple of the times I got a couple of the only time I ever got negative messages sent to me, like on Instagram, some ladies like, change up the set list. We could go see any other band if we want. And it's like, okay. I would rather have somebody be polite about it and say, hey, we'd love to hear some new songs, which some people are kind enough to say. But you know what I mean. Some people just get ornery or whatever. And but we got to roll with it, don't we?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I got it, and I get that too, Rick. I get that too, and actually, I was going to do that this year on social media. I'm going to put, hey, what new songs would you guys like for the band to play? And I think that's a good idea because it's nice to have other people outside the box. The problem is with me, I can't do a lot of that new stuff. I can't sing it. I can't do it. So for me, it's hard. I can do some old stuff, but some of that new stuff I just can't do. That's why either when I have my buddy Daryl or when I have other band members, they might do some of the newer stuff, and that saves it on that. We got Rick Lindy, folks, on the show with us right now, celebrating his 40 years in the business. Big show coming up January 31st at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles. Rick, let's talk about if you had, what was your most one of the biggest experiences that you can remember in the 40 years? If you had to put one underneath your gravestone, what would be the gig? What would be the place? What would be the event?
Well, there's been a lot of great shows. I started out doing country music first, and I sang at Nashville North in Bensonville was the first place I did my very first performance with music. And that place was pretty cool. I don't know if you ever went there because I don't think Tony Ocean ever did country. Maybe he did, but you were probably down Irving Park at more like
I do a couple
Thirsty
now.
Whale or something, right?
Sure.
You do some now,
Right.
but back like
Yeah.
I started doing country like Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, all that stuff. The very first show that I was put on that was a big show, I had won a Marlboro country contest, and we played at Great America, and we played for opening up for Sawyer Brown and Kathy Mattea. Over the years, I did do a opening for Johnny Cash one time, which was great. I've done some spots with some people overseas in Europe, which were very, very cool shows. Most recently, I lost one of my good buddies that was on Sun Records. His name was Hayden Thompson, and Hayden Thompson and I did a show at the Beat Kitchen many years ago, along with Ronnie Dawson. He was a Texas rockabilly guy, along with a group called the Moondogs. Jimmy Sutton's part of that. I grew up with Jimmy Sutton. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was
No.
in a group called the Four Charms. But if you know rockabilly, people know him. I would say that those shows were good. I was in the Serendipity Singers. I got to do a show with many people, the Drifters. Some of the kind of funny acts I've done was with Robert Goulet, Florence Henderson, kind of like a lot of people would say sort of the washed up entertainers of yesteryear that we would be playing with. I know it's kind of mean to say because they certainly are wonderful entertainers, but you know what I mean? When I was like early 20s, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing a show with Pat Boone, which I did. And I love doing it. And these people were pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I would say the nicest people I met.
Yeah.
I would say some of the nicest people I met was Johnny Cash. Super nice person. He was great. Hayden Thompson, my buddy from Sun Records, he just died on New Year's Eve. which was very sad to hear. He was 87 years old. He was on my first Wild One CD. He had a hit on 1957 on Sun Records called Love My Baby, and I did a duet with him on Love My Baby, and he came, and he always used to tease me every time I talked to him. He was still waiting for the royalty checks for being on the Wild One's first CD. And so one time he had another hit song in the 60s. It was called 1688. It was about a guy that needed $16.88 for a train ticket to see his love. So every time he kept bugging me, I finally wrote him a check for $16.88. He thought that was pretty funny, but just the kind of sarcastic humor.
Yeah.
I think you have a little bit of that too in you.
Right. You've had a lot of experiences in what you've done through the years. And it's amazing that we're still performing as much as we are, and the people that do come out and support, and they're spending money because they can go to a lot of places. There's a lot of places that people can come out and see, and they actually come out, spend money, drink, and it's important. And what you do for Chicago is fantastic, Rick. What you do, something that we're going to talk real fast about one thing, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about your 40th anniversary. If anybody's going to expect anything new or anything surprising on that show, let's talk about the day after. One of the slowest weekends sometimes is the first weekend in the new year, whether it's a Friday or a Saturday, and usually everybody's all pretty tied up or their money's spent and whatever, they want to rest. I had a pretty good Friday. I had a great Saturday at Johnny's Kitchen and Tap. But I know you had a situation happen at a place called Pub 72 where you got a call saying that you canceled the show. And I said to myself when I first heard this, I go, Rick Lindy would not cancel a show. Even if he lost one arm, he'd still go up and sing. So
that is absolutely
the club, and I don't want to talk about it. I mean, obviously they thought it was going to be a slow night.
Kind of lost you there for a second.
The owner gets scared and cancels you. You find out about it before.
No, it was that day. What happened was,
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
It got booked by Joey DeMarco. We all know Joey. I've been working with him for 30-something years. Joey had made a phone call to me on New Year's Eve, which he never calls that often unless there's something important. Otherwise, he emails me. But so I tried calling back on New Year's. I didn't hear back. I had 2 shows on New Year's, 2 private shows. But I was working on a model on Saturday afternoon, and I knew I had to get in the shower soon to take off and go set up all this stuff for Pub 72. But I received a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. I picked it up, and it was the manager or owner of Pub 72. And he was kind of asking me, are you going to have some people for us and this type of thing? And I said, well, our goal is always to have a big crowd and a lot of people. I said, it's hard for me to say. Some of my friends said they're coming. Some of them said they couldn't make it or what have you. I said, but I think we're going to do pretty well. And he was like, well, we've had a really slow week. We've had
technical difficulty hearing you.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why. Can you hear me now? How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's coming like on and off. I told you and said
I'm having a little difficulty hearing you now.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Now I
can you hear me now?
You want me to repeat it? Yes, you want me to repeat it?
No, go back. Yeah, go back to when the owner called you and told you the gig was canceled.
Okay. I was working on a model, I would say around 4:00 in the afternoon on Saturday. Working on a commission for somebody, and the phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize, and it was the owner of Pub 72 or the owner's son, and he had asked me if I was going to have a crowd that night, and I said, well, I always hope on having a crowd. I said, everybody gets a slow night here and there, but I'm pretty confident we'll have people. And I said, why? And he said, well, we've had a really slow week. And he was humming and hawing like he wanted to cancel the show. And we had hung up, and I had called Joe DeMarco, who had booked the show, and I had just mentioned to him what happened because I thought it was weird. I'd never gotten a call from a club owner asking me how many people I was going to have, like 2.5 hours before the show. And he said, let's get him on three-way. And he said, Rick, I'm telling you what I'm afraid of is if he tries to not pay you as much at the end of the show. And I said, well, I wouldn't like that either, especially since I always got to take care of my band members first. They come first before me, making sure they get paid. So I was hesitant. And Joey suggested, why don't we just cancel because I don't want you to have trouble getting paid at the end of the night. But let's talk to him. So he wanted to cancel when we got on the phone. I never want to cancel. I canceled one show in my life when I had my appendix out, and the doctor said that you can't perform, and it was a New Year's Eve actually. So there's the only time, I performed the day I buried my mother. I performed the day my mother died. I performed the day my stepdad died. I don't cancel shows. So that's that.
So he canceled it on you. Now, Rick, were you there before? Did you perform there before? Or was this the first time going in there?
I performed there one other time as a rockabilly trio, my rockabilly trio, and it was in the summertime, and it wasn't when tons of people were there, whatever. But we did have some fans there. And what I was going to do this time, they have like a back room. Sometimes people can do music in, and then they have a bar. I was going to go in the bar this time because everybody that loved us last time was in the bar and kind of watching us from a distance. I thought, oh, let's get, intimate. We'll just get into the bar and put on a great show. What's funny about it is I got all these texts and calls telling me that, hey, we just got here. They're telling me you canceled, that you're sick. And I said, that's not true. I didn't cancel. So it was a little bit set back, and I'd gotten a lot of calls, a lot of texts. We would have had a good night there, So I was disappointed. And guess what? Even though I had a contract, I got paid $0 for that night. So
now the question is, Rick, obviously it was a mistake on his part because you guys would have had a good crowd there. The question is, you're done with that place, or will you give them another shot?
I never say never that I won't do it again, but I don't have anything else booked there at this time, and I'd rather focus on somebody that's believes in me and will have the show. Let's put it that way.
Great answer. Rick Lindy, we got a couple minutes left. You got a big show promoting 40 years coming up January 31st at the Moonlight Theater, everybody, in St. Charles. It's a big thing. You're going on at 7:30. It's you and the Wild Ones. Are you coming up with anything, any surprises or anything new for that particular show coming up on the 40th that some people might, be something new you're going to give them for that because it's a special night?
Actually, yes. What I'm doing is I never gave the Rockabilly Band a chance to perform, and we do the 50s, 60s stuff and Rockabilly. So what I'm doing is I decided to give them a chance to do it. And it's kind of a new unit I started last year. I've got an upright bass player. I've got a very authentic guitar player. And I've got a drummer that's been working with me for 33 years, Al Wagner, on that show. Gary Bloom, who's a keyboardist that's phenomenal. He plays all the Floyd Kramer parts, all the songs. He does all the cool string parts on the Roy Orbison stuff. I've got Keith Ryan on guitar. I've got Rami Soni from Finland on bass, and a special guest appearance by Steven, who's going to be taking over for Rami on stand-up bass. Steven, my new bassist, I can't pronounce his last name. It's a Polish last name. Sorry, Steven. And we just kind of met not long ago. But he's going to be taking over for Rami, who's going back to Finland to take care of some business with his family. And Stephen is a former Bensonville police officer that was shot 8 times, died on the table twice, came back, is retired now. He's got honorable medals and things. The guy's a great bass player, really nice guy. We got along well. So he's going to be part of my Rick Lindy's and the Rockabilly Trio or Rockabilly Quartet band. So those guys are going to be doing it because usually I do all the big shows with the Wild Ones. And this time I thought,
Yes.
you know what? I want to give these guys a chance to do a bigger show. And then, the other bigger shows we'll be doing more likely with the Wild Ones. So that is a bit of a surprise. It's a little bit different unit. They're really good guys. We're going to be on live on WRMN radio on Friday. You can tune in on video too and see us perform some songs. So we're going to be in the
Great.
studio with Dino's Night Out. Have you ever been on that show?
No, but I've heard of it. Very kind of cool, man. What you're doing, which is going to be nice, folks. Again, it's going to be the 31st of January, the Moonlight Theater. If you don't know, if you have no plans, get out there. Moonlight Theater is a nice little theater. They're in St. Charles, downtown St. Charles. Get out there. Make sure you see my buddy Rick Lindy. Rick, a couple other things before we go. No, we got a couple minutes here left before we do. It's just something that we probably a lot of times, I know when we talk personally, we're kind of mostly on the same political page, and I know we don't supposed to talk politics on that, but isn't it weird? I never thought in my life that would there be people that you would know for years and years and years, and just because of don't exist anymore, to me, it's as a musician and an entertainer in Chicago, what's your thoughts on all that?
Well, here's what I think is I've always believed that everyone has a right to whatever politics or religion that they want. In our
Yes.
heart of hearts, we know what we like and we know what we want and what we
Yeah.
believe in.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that America is about diversity. It's about unification with everyone with different ideas, people that have, not the same beliefs, but can come together as a country and all be different, but yet one unit. And that's what's the sad part is people are dividing themselves. I have lots of friends that don't believe in the same things I do. There have been some that don't want to talk to me anymore. And there's been, I've never not talked to somebody because they didn't believe the same as I.
Me too.
So I was a little bit hurt by that. But what I also look at it is if that's going to divide me, then they're not really my friend. I even have family members not in my household, but my sisters and things that have different ideas politically than I do. And, I respect them for their opinion. I might think they're wrong, but that's how I feel about the whole thing. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I mean,
that sounds perfect. That sounds very logical. And it is what it is. We're just, look, in life, we're happy we get up in the morning. We're happy that we can still do our talent, our trait that we do. We're happy that people still come out and support us. And I think sometimes people like you for speaking your mind sometimes. At least they know exactly where you're coming from and they know you're real, shows character to some degree. I think when people maybe overdo it, that's one thing. But I think it's good to stand up for what you believe in, good or bad or whatever it is. And I think that's really important. And I'm glad you keep doing what you're doing. You're a true American, Rick. You're always with the American flag. You're always talking about that. It is very, very important because we are still in the greatest country in the world. We have our ups and downs. The leader that we have right now could be a little crazy sometimes, but hey, sometimes I'd rather have a little crazy than not crazy at all. And that's just my point of view. But while we're here today, and we got just a minute left here, again, Rick Lindy going to be performing his 40 years in entertainment. You want to be there that night, folks. Come out to Moonlight Theater in St. Charles.
That's why I need glasses.
It's 7:30. Yeah, me too. We need it. 7:30 to 10 o'clock. Moonlight Theater. Go to moonlighttheatertickets.com. Get your ticket to see Rick Lindy and help him celebrate 40 years and hope many, many, many more years of Rick. And then we have to get you back on next time. We're going to talk models, buddy. I'm going to tell you something real fast. I got 2 new models that I made that I got for One is Mothman, which is a
Oh, cool.
cryptozoology
The Jeff
theory,
Yeager sculpt.
and one is yes, and I got the one with the Dracula meets fights the werewolf. That's another
Okay,
one too. The problem is,
that's another
Rick,
Yeager.
this is
Yeah.
the plastic one. This isn't resin. This isn't the resin ones. But the problem is, before they used to give you a color code, and they would tell you what color to paint certain parts. And in these particular two that I have, they don't tell you the exact colors to paint them. So you just have to look at the cover and come up with your own whatchamacallit. So what I was going to do,
Sure.
I'll send you a picture of these two. Maybe you can give me some advice. And then definitely one
Sure.
day, some way soon, I'd like to come by the house, see the collection, and maybe you can help me learn how to use the spray thing. Because right now I'm just still using the old paint and whatchamacallit, which I still love doing. And that's another thing that we do have in common, and we do paint and you do an incredible job. If you guys
Thank you.
look at Rick's pages of stuff that he does, it's like, wow, it's just fantastic what you do. So keep doing that,
Oh,
guys.
thank you.
It is coming to the end. We have to go. But Rick, before we go, just stay with me while we say happy birthday to people in Wednesday, January 8th. Carol Marchetti, another singer in Chicagoland. Happy birthday, Carol. Karen Skinner, the girlfriend of my good buddy, of course, Elliot Winbush, who's plays Sammy in Ocean's Rap Pack. Kenny Loggins turns 78 years old. Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's, 67 years old. You guys remember the British comic Bean celebrates her birthday, 71 years old. My friend Marcia out there, happy birthday. Ronnie B, happy birthday, mom up in heaven, buddy. The First Lady, Ursula Vance, of course, the wife of J.D. Vance, turns 40 years old today. Malcolm Young, formerly member of AC/DC, celebrating a birthday. Andy Summers, guitar player, used to be with the Police, 83 years old. Frank Silvio, who played Carbone in the Goodfellas, 73 years old. Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, for all you wrestling fans, turns 82 years old. And of course, tomorrow's birthday, Rick, a man you know well, Elvis Presley, celebrating a birthday. How old would you have been, Rick?
Well, he was born in 1935, so God, he'd be 91, wouldn't he?
Said
91.
91. Do you imagine what Elvis Presley would be thinking right now to hear the music that's going on right now?
Some of it I think he would have liked, but what was cool about Elvis is, although I think he tried changing with the times as much as possible, I know he definitely did at the end because he was doing some music that probably by rock and roll fans would be thinking they were more easy listening kind of material. But, he did a lot of different stuff, but I don't really know what he would think of certain stuff. I would always think that Elvis would stay true to singing great melodies. And instead of, I can't see Elvis rapping, could you?
No, I can't. And one other thing, real quick. I know we're over our time, but I have to ask you this. There's a bunch of musical artists that are out there now on Spotify, and they're big on the songs. I don't know the name of an artist right now or a song in particular, but people have been listening to these guys or gals, this group, and they go online to sing when this band is going to be performing somewhere because they want to see them in concert. They're created by AI. Rick, have you heard about this? There's an artist. It's a girl singer. I forgot her name. She's got a big hit on the charts right now. Is this the future?
God, I hope not. Here's what I got to say about that is, first of all, wasn't it bad enough that a lot of these popular singers of today have to use digital tuning devices in the studio, and it sounds contrived. It sounds like it's actually, it just sounds like a computer. It doesn't sound like a real human being. And, me, myself, I'm very old school with a lot of stuff. I know you are too. I like old movies. I like traditional paintings. Not real into abstract paintings, but I can appreciate them for what they're for. But technically, I don't know. AI, I think there's going to be a lot of problems with AI because it's getting so good somebody could make a video of you doing something obscene and say it's you. You know what I mean?
And I'm surprised nobody has yet. And
Well,
I'm
maybe I
surprised
should.
nobody has yet. Yeah, there you go. Rick, we are at time, buddy. But listen, Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones, guys, January Moonlight Theater, St. Charles. Check them out, celebrating 40 years. Guys, want to thank our good friends from Ace
Thank you so
Hardware.
much.
Ace is the place, buy local, shop local, supporting local establishments for many years. Our good friends from Ace. And guys, remember, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment. Be kind to one another out there. If you're offended with anything on this show or any other thing you see on the show, change the channel. But just remember one thing. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Please remember that too as well. It's very important. But be kind to one another. That's the most important thing in this world. And we thank you all for supporting local establishments. And thank you for watching the show. We'll be back tomorrow, Carol Bandolino House, and Friday, talking politics with Terry Newsom. Very big guy on Instagram, big follower. He's got a lot of followers. Terry Newsom will be our guest on Friday. Guys, Ringo Starr says peace and love. Rick, have a great day, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
Everybody have an incredible afternoon. Enjoy the day. Just go out and support live music, everybody. God bless you, everybody. Have a day.
Thank you, Bo, for
Rick. Have a
having
good
me.
one.
God bless you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Thank you. It's hard to look good on these stupid video cameras. I look pale, but that's okay.